I took it up. It's basically about respect among devotees. We have touched that topic in our 4 classes, but still it is something good. Prabhu has actually put on a nice slide. So I'll just share that. Just let me open my slide and we can go through that, right? So just give me a minute. Yes. Devotees have brought nice bhoga vegetables and come here. Okay, perfect. So, is Vaishnava culture. We are doing formal Vaishnava association. Right? We just read this verse. We just read this bhajan by Bhakti Vinod Thakur that says Suddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anu Kula. So by practicing devotional service and with lotus feet of a devotee, as well as by serving the lotus feet of a devotee, that is anukula. Anukula is which is good for our devotional service. And what it says, Bhakata Seva Paramasiddhi. Premalati Karamula. It is the root of our devotional service. Only by serving the devotees. There's no other way. See, if we try to figure out any other way of doing it, it may not happen. A very nice example of this is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was already, how do I say, he was already proficient in everything. By the time he grew up, of course, like we see in the book called as A Ray of Vishnu, if some of you have read, there's a book called A Ray of Vishnu. So basically, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he prays that let a very nice devotee be born in my family so that he can preach. And it mentioned that Bhakti Siddhanta was that. So it's called A Ray of Vishnu also. And we know what all Bhakti Siddhanta did. From small time, he used to go to his classes. If you read Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav, when you read that, it says that he used to go to classes and the teachers used to be amazed. He used to be so sharp and he used to understand every literature. So in fact, in his school, one of his teachers, they gave him the name Siddhanta Saraswati kind of. Because he was so focused on this thing. Many people wanted to give him, take him into their fold, give initiation. It would be a good school for me. He was not. And to tell you, because Bhakti Siddhanta had to do his worships, he had deities. You remember, means you know, like Bhakti Vedanta Swami had deities which his father had given. Bhakti Vedanta Swami writes about that. Our Srila Prabhupada writes about it. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati also had things. So what Bhakti Vinod had done was, Bhakti Vinod Thakur already had given him the mantras. Bhakti Vinod Thakur already had given him the Hare Krishna mantra and the mantras to worship the Shaligram. This was given to him. But Bhakti Vinod told him, but if you want to progress in your devotional service, you have to go and fall at Suddha Bhakata Charana. And whom did he go to? Kishore Das Bhagavan. Diametrically opposite. He used to not, Kishore used to never take disciples. If anyone goes to Kishore for asking him to accept him as a disciple, he used to have an umbrella. I don't know if you know, it's a custom. All Bengali Odias and others, they have umbrella. And it is also having a bend stick, right? So usually it will be there. So anyone you should go, you should take that and he'll say, I'll hit you. Bhakti Siddhanta went there. And Bhakti Siddhanta said that, please accept me as your disciple. Means materially we keep thinking so many high things that here and there. But what is he seeing? He's only seeing what is bhakti. And they knew that for all practical purpose, he had Bhakti Vinod with him. But when Bhakti Vinod is a Shiksha Guru kind of thing, right? But he's saying that no, you take from Gaur Kishore because then you will get Siddha Bhakti. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj didn't agree immediately. Took him some time. Means he kept on pestering, and only after that did he give him initiation. He said basically, we go, okay, you take bath in Saraswati and come. Saraswati was a tributary there, so he was takes bath on the of course. So big story. Similarly, we also find Narottam Das taking from who was Narottam's guru? Loknath Swami. From Loknath Swami, he takes that. That also Loknath Swami. Narottam is also very learned. But Narottam already has Krishna Prem. If you see that, Narottam already has Krishna Prem. Mahaprabhu would have immersed the Krishna Prem in Padma river. And the Prema will be there in the river. And Mahaprabhu, through Nityananda Prabhu, will tell him to go and take bath in the river and he will get the Krishna Prem. Narottam was discerned, but still, like the Lord himself, similarly his enlightened devotees have showed us that we have to go and ask for initiation. Initiation is the beginning. So we have to always serve a wonderful devotee. That becomes the basis for our devotional service, right? Is the root of, right? So it says, the dust from the lotus feet of pure devotees gives rise to devotional service. I was saying it the other time also. The dust can take your aparad, the dust can give you devotion. Sometimes when the Bhanuswami, I think, said that, it's like the devotee may not have taken aparad, but the dust can take aparad. But be careful. And service to the devotees is itself the supreme perfection. He's not saying that that is the way to perfection. He's saying service to devotees is itself the supreme perfection and the root of the tender creeper of divine love. So just by serving the devotees, you can do. What is our perfection? What do we want to do? What is our goal in life? Which Mahaprabhu has said in our Sikshastra. Anyone? What does he say? Think about it. Anyone online or offline? Okay, yeah, let him treat anyone however he wants. I will stay as his. I'm yours all across, right? Yeah. One more. Okay, Trinada Pisavachana is how I behave. But he says, Mama Janmani Janmanishwari. Bhavatat Bhaktir Ahetu Kitvai. Life after life, I have to be your servant. That means you have to serve. And if you serve Lord, you have to serve Lord's devotees. That is our goal. I was saying the other day also, I'm repeating that. It says, devotee in the mode of goodness will say that I will do devotional service so that I can go back home back to God. But devotee in devotional exercise, or devotee in transcendence will always have that I will just go to serve Krishna. And when you serve Krishna, you have to serve his devotees. It's not the, whereas a devotee in the mode of ignorance or practicing the mode of ignorance will say that I am the only one who is doing. So anytime we start thinking that I am the only one who is doing, we should know in which mode we are doing devotion. You are doing devotional service, no doubt. That will purify you. But we are doing devotional service in the mode of, and what is the mode of passion? It will be, if I'm doing, hey, I want to be the best. I want to be the best. Oh, they are doing this one, I should do this. I'll be the best here, I'll be doing the best here. And then they have to say that, hey, he did the best thing. No. That is devotional service in the mode of passion. And goodness will be, I'll go back home, back to God. But what is our parampara saying, what our acharya is saying, what is we should do. Our thing should only be to serve the Supreme Personality of God. And how will that come into us? Repeatedly hearing, repeatedly serving. By that we will get purified. Right? Very, very, very important thing which we should do. Right? So this is from Suddha Bhagavata. So you come on. So our acharyas have given very, very important things. So respect in Vaishnava society. In fact, when Yudhishthira and Narada Muni are discussing just before the Rajasriya again, there's a wonderful conversation which goes on in the between Narada and others as to how God should be respected. Very important. Some of the Srimad Bhagavatam verses, we are not taking up that verses, but very good, interesting. But in case of Vaishnava society, we should at least have this. We should have this these many maryadas at least. Very important thing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that in Chaitanya Sikshamrita. So we give Raja Maryada to administratives. Someone has been put on some administrative post. We have to give them respect. You can be very senior, but if the GBC has said something, someone has been put in that position, you have to give that person that respect. He may be younger to you, both in age, both in experience, but because he's given that, you have to give him respect. There is a very interesting thing. Some people came and said to Prabhupada, they complained to Prabhupada about Shyam Sundar Prabhu. If you all know, Shyam Sundar Prabhu is a very wonderful Vaishnava who built our first Jagannath deities, was married the time to Madhati Mataji and others. So he only came up and we got our London Ishwar also. So some people came and said, no, Shyam Sundar is not following everything. So we will, they were complaining about him to what is that? Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada is very specific. Srila Prabhupada says, he's there, you just follow him. Because he's been put in that place. So till they are in the post, we have to respect them. And that will bring a sanity in our society. That should be done. If someone is there, you're going to a temple, there may be many things which may not happen. Of course, it may not happen properly. There's no problem with that. But whoever is in the position, which has to be given respect, saying that yes, they have been given that. Similarly, we should also give Maryada for someone who is learning. And of course, with regards to Varna, with regards to Ashrama, like anytime you see a sannyasi, you have to pay obeisances. In fact, Srila Prabhupada says that even if you see a Mayavad sannyasi, you should pay respect. Don't hear from him. Because if you hear from a Mayavadi, then your devotional life is doomed. But you have to pay respect because he dedicated his total life for means in that ashrama, sannyas ashrama he is taken. Among all the ashramas, it is said that a sannyas ashrama is meant to guide the grihasthas. So we should give them. And similarly, we should also give respect to bhakti. Whoever has started practicing devotional service. Very important that we should do. Small and big. That's why Prabhupada brought that concept of the Prabhus and Matajis. Every lady we start seeing as mothers, and everyone we call as our masters. At least by calling them as masters, you will start at least thinking that they are your masters. Because otherwise, we have a very nice tendency of being treated as master. Our parents pamper us. Parents put us everything in our life around us. So they treat us as if we are their master. They pamper us, they spoil us sometimes, our parents. But then we carry forward that, and every time we want to see, and like the total material world is about I am the best. But in spiritual world, we don't say I'm the best. That becomes passionate, right? We have to come out of it. We have to be humble. Only in Bible it is said, only the humble and meek can go back to Lord. They have different concept, but still that can be actually accepted. Because if you have humility, only then you can take in whatever the Lord is giving, right? And it says, Uttama Hana Vaishnava Habe Nirabhimana Jive Sammane Divejani Krishna Adhisthana. What does it mean? Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. How nice. How nice it is being said. And which is this pastime which is being shared here? Which is this photo about? Anyone? It's a wonderful pastime, right? Yes. And so one big high board for Suryavamsi. High board. This is Prakashananda. This is Chaitanya sitting there. Chaitanya came and Chaitanya in Varanasi, he is sitting outside. The glow is so much glow is coming up from the golden Gauranga. But he stayed. He could have come directly fought. And he could have defeated them also. But Mahaprabhu first defeated them by his humility. You see, very important. You go get angry on someone and you go. And that person does not retaliate to you. He's very humble. Okay, that's my mistake. Half of your, by half, 80% of your thing, you don't know how to react. You will be totally, okay, what should I do now? Now you will become angry on yourself only. And it's not really a matter of being angry at them, but it is a matter of Vaishnava. Amanina, manadena. So we have to give respect to everyone and every point. Sometimes you will see that people whom you bring up in Krishna consciousness, they will grow up. You cannot start thinking them as naked pancho. You know naked pancho story? Naked pancho. Naked pancho is a very nice story which Bhakti Siddhanta says. So there was one Pancho. Pancho is a person's name. Right? Panchanan means he called Pancho in Bengali. That's short form. Right? Like Vishwajit, they become Biswa. So Pancho. So Pancho was always. So when he was small village, so he used to move naked. Small kids in villages. Nowadays you have these huggies and others. Otherwise, nothing other than you just keep moving naked. So he was called Nengta Pancho. He was called Nengta Pancho. You understand? This is understand. He's laughing. So he used to keep running and somehow he grew up. He's not a Christian naked all across. And then he became a judge. And then that village, there was some disturbance. And Pancho was given the authority to solve the problem. When Pancho came, but the people are not ready to accept him. They're saying, what will Langta Pancho do? He used to run here naked. And he used to run here naked earlier. Now he's totally qualified. Similarly, in devotion also. We cannot take that, okay, this devotee we brought. He will always be in this particular place. I will not give him respect. I'll always, he's my servant, life after life. I have brought nothing of that kind. You have to understand. That's why you also start calling them as Prabhus. For some time it may be familiar, but you start accepting from them also. Because there will be a time when they will come up. Even in our movement, we are a movement, very small movement. ISKCON means our movement has not even, in a way, not even achieved youth till now. We are still in our childhood and Kashura stage kind of thing, if you can say. Yeah? That's how we are there now. We have to go until 10,000 years. You see, two instances I'll say. If possible, go and watch Bhakti Rasamrit Swami's sannyas initiation video. I don't know how many of you have, but if anyone of you have seen that, raise your hands. If you haven't seen, listen to this. Anyone here? Yeah. Okay, Kumari Deva Mataji has seen. Yes, Jay. Yes, of course you would have seen that. Thank you. So, if you see that video, wonderful. And Maharaj takes initiation. He was Deva Mritu and Maharaj takes initiation. And a lot of people speak, and then Maharaj is also speaking. Then, of course, his own Radha speaks. One thing which comes out from that is that one point which is relevant to this. He says, when he came to Krishna consciousness, he used to take guidance from some people. Right? He came to Krishna, he used to take. Then he started giving guidance to those people because of his increase in emotion. These grihasthas and others who were guiding him, they started to take guidance from him. Understanding that. So you can never be complacent in not giving respect to others. Because as I said you, bhakti maryada, I said you. They can grow in bhakti, they can outpass you. The other example, one more example, even in our movement, there can be many day-to-day examples. So we have seen, even in my life, I've seen many of us whom we bring, they grow up, they then guide us in some services. That's fair enough, because they are continuing from somewhere where they have come. One more wonderful example is of Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. Kripamaya Prabhu says that. There's a Prabhupada disciple, Kripamaya Prabhu, Janavi Mataji's father. You know, singer Janavi Mataji, you all may know about that, right? So, he says that he was just distributing books on a one particular what is that traffic light, and someone picked up a book, liked the book, and slowly and steadily what happened was he became a very nice Vaishnava. I think within 7 days joined the temple, shaved up the head, and then started practicing. He was one of Vigyapati Prabhu or something. I forget what was Maharaj's earlier. And now you see Maharaj, what is he doing? He's an initiating spiritual master, guiding a lot of grihasthas and everything, right? That means he's continuing from some of the life. So we have to be very, very respectful to everyone. You never know who is the devotee who will guide you, who will pull you out in devotional service tomorrow. Today you are guiding them because you are a little higher, but tomorrow they can guide you. So always be respectful. Huh? You have to be nirabhimana. You should not have abhimana. Amanina manadena. You have to give mana to others. Huh? Then you have to give respect, knowing that Krishna adhisthana. That means Krishna is in everyone's heart. They are the resting place of Krishna. Huh? That's the sound. Means Govinda. Govinda is with you. You can give me Govinda whenever you have. I forget that Bengali song. So, Ei Mattahana, Ei Krishna Namalai, Sri Krishna Charane, Tara Prema Upajaya. He says, if one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this manner, he will certainly awaken his dormant love for Krishna's lotus. How? In what? In Amanina Manadin. Mahaprabhu said that garland should be there with us. Trinadapi, Sunichena, Tarorapi, Sahisuna, Amanina Mandena, Kirtaniya, Sada. If one chants the holy name of Lord Krishna in this matter, he will certainly awaken his dormant love. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. So that means our main thing is not to accept respect, but to look forward where we can give respect. So everyone, so figure out by seeing itself, this is from Antya Leela, so find out where and what quality he has, because we have a very bad tendency of finding out what defects to us. Every moment of time, we try to prove that we are the best. So what should be the first thing we should try to do? We should try to first keep our mouth shut. Because every time mouth opens up, mouth is like frog croaking. You know what? When a frog croaks, what happens? Huh? It will attract snakes. And the snake will come and eat you and finish your devotional life. So we should control our tongues too much. And and we should always, then second stage should be when we open up, we should only speak better things about the devotees. Unless you are sitting in a group where you are working on constructive criticism, where you can respect, it is better you don't speak. Okay? So how you give respect in a Vaishnava society? These are some way of giving respect. What are the things? As soon as you see, this is even general, but we are calling it out. You rise from one seat. You have to rise from one seat when you see a Vaishnava. When you see a senior Vaishnava, you have to rise from one seat. Who didn't rise from his seat and was killed? Anonymous?
Ramaharshana.
Yes. Who was that? Prabhu, who said that?
Murari.
Murari. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. He was sitting on Vyasasana. Ideally, anyone who is sitting on Vyasasana is supposed to be the leading most Vaishnava of that. But sometimes you are just given by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, you are given a Vyasasana. That does not mean you are the senior most Vaishnava. Ideally, when a senior most Vaishnava is there, you don't speak. But once again, because of, I said you want administrative rights. Someone, because of administrative rights, has said you that you sit and you give that class. That does not mean that you are the senior most Vaishnava. But if someone is coming, you should give him respect. Because he's senior most. At least in your heart, at least in your hand, at least you should, if you're not able to get up, at least do it. Even by your body language, you can show that it's not that I'm sitting here on the. And Roma Arsana didn't do that. Roma Arsana, Balaram walked in. Hundreds of sages sitting, and Roma Arsana didn't get up from his Vyasasana. What did Balaram do? Nothing. Just took a straw, touched on his head, and killed him. He killed Roma Arsana. Balaram killed. And then he put Roma Arsana Sutta on the Vyasasana. Who is Roma Arsana Sutta? Sutta Goswami. Sutta became later. The Sutta is actually name. You identify oneself by name. That's a Vaishnava etiquette. We keep forgetting. But you keep asking, hey, what's your name, Prabhu? What's your name, Mataji? You identify, because you're everyone is a person. Identify them. Offer obeisances. Pranam. What is the first thing in a temple etiquette? As soon as we enter the temple, what should we do? Pay obeisances. Vancha kalpatanubhyascha kripasindhabhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo. We do that. We offer worship to Vaishnavas. Like if Vaishnavas are there, if Gurus are there, we should do Guru Puja. Never hesitate. Don't bring this all. I know my class is being recorded, but I keep it on record, so not a problem. And nowadays people are a little, what do I say? A little mad. They, after taking the IDC, the only thing they should do Prabhupada's Guru Puja. And Prabhupada never said that you don't do Guru Puja. But the GBC never said that. They are saying that Prabhupada's Guru Puja should be given importance over others. So in the temple hall where there are many other gurus, we don't respect for this, we give respect for Prabhupada. But when there is a chance, we should offer worship. We should do puja to the Vaishnavas. Need not only be your spiritual master, any exalted Vaishnava. If some exalted Vaishnava is coming to your house, even if they are not your spiritual master, you should do Pada Puja for them. Crazy. Okay. So you should, means when they come to our house, we'll come to that. like spiritual masters, god brothers. They should be treated on the same level as the spiritual master. Should always treat, and spiritual master is very pleased by that. Not that, oh, he's not my spiritual master, let my spiritual master. That is disrespect. In fact, you should be always vying for doing the worship of spiritual masters. When I'm saying, it's like Uttamadhikaris, or even Madhyamadhikaris, and giving gifts. Giving gifts is always a Vaishnava etiquette. Don't miss an opportunity. Gift is not something more in money, but gift is something which you are giving out of genuine love to someone. Among the 6 exchanges of love between the devotees, first two are honoring prasad and feeding, giving prasad to them, Bhoga. Calling them, may come to my home, will feed you. That's a Vaishnava relationship. Second is accepting and giving gifts. Very interesting. That's that. Of course, the 5th, 6th is a little difficult one. Revealing your mind and hearing from them. There's 5th and 6th. That's a little difficult thing. But at least the first 4 can be practiced. Offering prasad and drinking water. This was a part of our culture. As soon as you go to any North India house, the first thing they'll bring is water. They'll actually keep water outside the house. They'll ask you, wash your feet, please. And then come out. That was etiquette. We have forgotten that. But at least as Vaishnavas, we should do. And when they're coming, we put a sofa, we put a sitting place, a straw mat, please sit there. We clean the place and put there. We may be sitting in dirty place and all that. This is respect. And we welcome it. Hold the hands. Namaskar. At least namaskar. If you can do pranam, that is good. This is how you do in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 22nd chapter, 10th purport. It is given. It's all based on the scriptures. This is something which I was saying, Maryada Vetikram. So we don't do this. This is very, very important. I was even speaking on this. And we have been actually going through this in the 3rd canto. Bhakti Vaibhav, of course, also. Maryada means respect. What does Vetikram mean? Vetikram means to fault. What is the fault? Kab Vetikram ho jata hai. Hindi people will understand. Maryada se kab Vetikram ho jata hai. It becomes when there are some instances in which you should not be doing this. Unless you're given an instruction by the senior Vaishnava. What is that? The rule is that in presence of a higher personality, one should not be very eager to impart instruction, even if one is competent and well-versed. Even if you know the answers, even if you're well-versed, if someone has asked the question to the Vaishnava there, don't overput it. I'll say the answer. No need. No need. Krishna knows whom to ask, whom to give, and what to do. We have to be very, very careful about this. And where was this shown? Who followed this? Which example? No one who is attending Bhakti Vaibhav class cannot answer. Parikshit asking to Sukadev. So, but Vyasadeva was there. Yes. If you read the 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, in one of the verses, it says, actually, he didn't do Maryada Vatikram there. When he comes there, it is very nicely mentioned. When he's walking and coming, Sukadev is coming, walking, and actually ladies and children are following him. They're thinking him as madman. Because he's totally naked. He's just walking. He's out of bodily things. But then as soon as the sadhus see, what do? All the other sages, as soon as they see Sukadev, what do? They actually pay obeisances. He respects back to them. But then he sees on the left his father and his father's guru. That means Vyasadeva and Narada are also sitting there. What does he do? He pays obeisances to them. And then he walks to the seat because Parikshit says that you will have to kindly give me. But there is also one very nice example where in that case, he was the apt person for them. But where Maryada Vyatikam, one more wonderful example is that of Uddhava. Vidura asks Uddhava, what happened? Uddhava says, Lord Sri Krishna has completed his pastimes. So this is what instruction did he give? He says he remembered you at the time of death. Just imagine, we try to remember the Lord, but the Lord remembered. Sorry. Yeah, yes, correct. So he says that, correct. Uddhava knew everything. Uddhava was competent, Uddhava was well-versed, Uddhava is totally given the instruction. Don't think Uddhava was any. But Uddhava says no. Lord Krishna showed that to Bhishma. Correct. Suryavanshi Prabhu is saying a wonderful thing. Lord Krishna also explained that when Yudhishthira is asking, see, Arjuna asked for instructions, Krishna gave. But but when Yudhishthira asked for instruction, Krishna thought how he should give. Because in materially, Krishna was younger to Yudhishthira. He used to pay obeisances to. So what did how did he impart the instructions? He imparted it through Bhishma. Before Bhishma left. So that should be followed even by us. Even if you are competent, even if you are well-versed, know whom you are speaking to. And by chance, sometimes a senior Vaishnava comes and you don't know, but when you come to know, you should always ask that senior Vaishnava to also speak or ask him if he wants to take forward on that. But don't be ever over enthusiastic that I know about this and I should do that. That becomes Maryada Vyatikram. We don't do that. We have to be always, at least before, there's a saying in English, fake it till you make it. And that means not ideally very good thing to do, but at least keep yourself, because of this influence of this external influence of this material world, we have a tendency to show off. And there's a genes called show off. Show off genes. Show off. Yes. So show off, but we don't do that. We have to be very well thought about that. And he actually says that no, Maitreya is there. Maitreya happened to come. Actually, Maitreya had just come when Krishna is giving instructions to Uddhava. Maitreya just. So. Go on. If a god brother is more enlightened and advanced in Krishna consciousness, one should accept him as almost equal to the spiritual master. Comes in 332. We had a difficult time actually in our movement when Srila Prabhupada left the planet. So many of so anything they had issues, they used to reach out to Srila Prabhupada. Now when Prabhupada left the planet, when he wound up his pastimes, those people, right, they couldn't think that even among them they could get through. And they were like, it was a case of, which can happen even in our case. I'm just highlighting that so that we understand from that, right? So what happened was they had seen these people grow up in Krishna consciousness. But now those devotees were in the pedestal of a spiritual master. You understand? That means the seventh verse of Guru Vashtaka comes. What is the seventh verse of Guru Vashtaka? Sakshat dharitvena samastu sastre uktastatha bhav yata eva sadbhi into prabhurya priya eva tasya vande guru sri charanam. I mean, they have been treated like God. Now these God brothers are seeing this, that their disciples are treating them like God. But we have seen them with their difficulties. When you grow up together now, like I grew up with someone. So whoever grew up, they know what my difficulties are. Right? Maybe the devotees whom I'm taking care of, they don't know what my difficulties are. But my peers know what my difficulties are, right? And it's also good. It's also a etiquette that you don't share your problems with people who are not as progressive as you in your devotional service, because they will not be able to handle it. It's not because you are something great, because they will not be able to handle it. You either share it with seniors, or you share it with your peers. You can do it to some extent, but to seniors you have to, right? Yeah. So Prabhupada says here that so that time it was a difficult time, but they then went to, like at the time many of them went to Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Prabhupada's godbrother. They took some guidance from him. Slowly, steadily, the movement fell in place. Now they reach out to their senior godbrothers. They figure out, they found who was more senior with regards to the Siksha, with regards to Bhakti. And slowly the society has now come to a, they are now, what do you say, complete whole. Like they say in Isavasyam Idam Sarvam. So similarly, our ISKCON is also a complete whole. So we know, okay, if something happens, because earlier we used to know if Prabhupada is not there, Prabhupada is given his instructions. So even amongst us, there will be some senior godbrothers, there will be godbrothers who will be more enlightened, who will understand more. So we should start accepting it. Of course, but you should not treat your godbrother to become your servant. The opposite does not hold good. When someone came to Srila Prabhupada or to Srila Bhakti, no, I think Srila Prabhupada, and said that maybe he can become my servant, right? I'm a sannyasi. So I said, no, he's a godbrother. Chaitanya took Govinda Prabhu as his personal servant only on the instruction of Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri was Chaitanya's spiritual master. Similarly can happen to us all also. It should be either by administrative purpose or by some purpose. Otherwise, you cannot start treating someone as yourself. That become Maryada Vyatikram. What is this? Can someone read this?
Relationship between God brothers must be very genuine and pleasing. Otherwise, the future of our institution will not be very hopeful. Srila Prabhupada letter to Tamal Krishna.
October 69. Thank you, Lokesh Prabhu. So between God brothers, relations should be very, very genuine and pleasing. What does genuine mean? Genuine means whatever is running in on your heart is also showing up on your face. Otherwise, envy can come out anyway. So it should be genuine. So you should understand. This is a God family. This is my only savior. ISKCON is my only savior. So I should follow this. And when we do this, then our institution future will be very wonderful. Right? So Vaishnava Aparadha we'll quickly do, maybe another 10 minutes max. So Vaishnava Aparadha. Radha word comes from Aradhana. So Apa means which is against Aradhana, against worship. That is called Aparadha. Apa plus Aradhana, against worship. So anything which you do which is against worship, there is a Vaishnava Aparadha. What is against worship? He said that you have to be humble. You're not being humble. That is it. Whatever Mahaprabhu's instructions are, if you're not following, that becomes a Vaishnava. Similarly, becomes if you're not following any of these Maryada stages, it becomes very critical. So one has to be very, very, very careful. It becomes an offense. In fact, in all the 10 offenses against holy name, you will find many offenses. And so what are some Vaishnava Aparadha, general Vaishnava Aparadha? What is the first one? Does not express joy in seeing a Vaishnava. You see, oh, आ गया यार फिर से अभी मुझे बोलेगा ये सब है, Hare Krishna, चलो यहाँ से भागते हैं. We will not even stand there. You are committing a Vaishnava aparadh. You may not be seeing, but if you are not becoming joyous in seeing a Vaishnava, that is a Vaishnava. By seeing a Vaishnava, you should be very joyful. You see, he is a practicing Vaishnava. He is very dear to Krishna. So if he puts my recommendation, there is a chance that I can also reach Krishna's place. You never know whose recommendation works well. So you should be very joyous in seeing a Vaishnava, very happy. Go and hug him, pay obeisances to him, spend a minute with him. Should be very joyous. And if you're not feeling joyous, that means there's something within your heart which is actually holding it. Either you have been hurt by that person, or you have hurt that person. So you are being guilty of not being able to face that. Or you're having envy in your heart. The only way is go and serve that Vaishnava. By that you will be able to come out of it. Once you come out of it, your heart will become lighter. And your heart will have so much space that Krishna can come and stay there. Gauranga Duti Pada Jar Dhan Sampurna. Gauranga Karuna Karo. Dinohina Jana. The second line is that. So he says that please come and sit in my heart. He says, what is it? Hridaya Kariye Smaran or something. He says, come to my heart. The temple of heart, you should come. But how will Gauranga come? If in your heart you're having envy, you're not feeling joy at seeing a Vaishnava, how will Gauranga come? Gauranga will say, this fellow is not at all qualified. Why should I come and sit in his second line? There's a second line of Gauranga Karunakar. Dante Trina Dhari Dakir. So Dante Trina Dhari Dakiyatomar, by being humble. Dante Trina means by being humble, I am calling you. Kripa Kari Asa Hridaya Amar, right? He's saying, right? Hridaya Mandire or something. That means you please come to my heart. By how? By being humble. But if you're humble, that means you should be joyous and seeing Vaishnava. If you're not being joyous, then how will you be humble? That means you're being bossy. Then how will Gauranga come and sit in your heart? You're going to be joyous by seeing a Vaishnava and never become angry upon. And beating a Vaishnava is first degree offense. First degree offense. Never touch a Vaishnava. Holds good for husband, wife, spouses also. No wife, no spouse beatings. Or even among brothers, sisters, siblings. No, they are Vaishnavas. You cannot even become angry upon and basis and others. You cannot become angry and one takes up the roti ka belan and one takes up the other one and throwing each other, beating each other. Cannot do all of that. Become angry upon beaters. Now what do you do there? You don't offer obeisances to a Vaishnava. That is a Vaishnava aparadh. You cannot pay totally down and others, but you at least in hand. Bend down. Say, you offer obeisances to a Vaishnava. Right? Hate a Vaishnava. If you hate a Vaishnava, there is Vaishnava. Don't even tell about it. No, that you cannot do that. If that thought is coming, you should just cut that thought out there. Cut the thought. And if someone is increasing your hateness, just say that person, no, I don't want to talk. Don't talk about the topic. Just stop it there. Prabhu, for you to discuss because of other aspects, it may be easier for you. My heart is not able to take it. Can we not talk about it, please? Please, let me be open. I'm not an exalted Vaishnava like you. Please don't put me into this. Okay. And blaspheming a Vaishnava. Oh, I know what all he used to do. What all he used to do. So what is the problem? Now he's not doing, he has increased in his spiritual practices. And if he's doing, his spiritual master or his guiding devotee will do. But I cannot blaspheme anyone. I don't have that right. Unless I am the guiding devotee, where I'm supposed to find out his and help him grow in Krishna consciousness, then I can do that. But otherwise, no. The ultimate. Kila Vaishnava, yes. People do that. That means there will be, you have, if you do Brahma Hatya, and there is some way out. But if you do Vaishnava Hatya, I have never read anything. Understand that? Never do this. Huh? So, blasphemy of Vaishnavas, you cannot blaspheme a Vaishnava because of birth. Oh, यार वो तो एक शुद्ध परिवार में जन्म होता है, हम लोग तो क्या ब्राह्मण है। अरे वैष्णव है तो ब्राह्मण शूद्र क्षेत्र कैसे हुआ? You cannot blaspheme a Vaishnava because of his birth. Vaishnava means Vaishnava. He is above the varnas. Yeah, because of his previous sins or faults, you cannot keep doing that. Once he becomes a Vaishnava, and he has overcome that, he's overcome that. You cannot remember now. During the base time, he had taken 20 rupees from my wallet. Now you cannot hear his class. So that he has given 20,000 rupees or 20 crore rupees. What is the big deal about it? You cannot do that. No previous sins or false sins. You cannot blaspheme. Unpremeditated accidental act of sin. He just happened to get into some sinful habits. You cannot keep blaspheming for that. There is a proper way. If there is some traces of sin but false almost rectified, you cannot blaspheme them. It comes from Harinam Chintamani. When you do this, you will actually be wonderful. Huh? And Prabhupada quotes in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, whoever blasphemes Vaishnavas falls down to the hell known as Maharaurava. And he does not go alone, accompanied by his forefathers. So you will also bring all your forefathers and come to Maharaurava. Come on, I did a wonderful job. I have blasphemed a Vaishnava. So now we can go and enjoy in Maharaurava hell. So if you commit aparad, you will actually go along with your forefathers to Maharaurava. So understand or not? At least if you are not thinking about yourself, at least think about your forefathers. You are supposed to liberate them. If you become a wonderful Vaishnava, then 21 generations, Prabhupada writes in the purport to Prahlad, right? 21. So he says that at least if you are not able to at least liberate them, at least don't bring them to hell here, to Maharaurava. Hare Krishna. Yadi Vaishnava Aparada Ute Hati Mat Upade Vachinde Tara Sukhi Yayapat. If the devotee commits a Vaishnava, commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up. Yes, we have seen. Many a times we have seen. And if any time devotee come and say, I don't know whom I committed offense to, but I'm not able to chant nicely, you can start saying that. You will not feel a taste for chanting, you will not feel a taste for doing services. Then you should know that somewhere or the other, you have committed a Vaishnava aparad. Then either find out whom you did aparad and you pay obeisances, or if you're not able to find out, pay obeisances to Tulsi Maharani and do pradakshinas of Tulsi Maharani. That will, because she is Bhakti Pradayini, so she will give you back some Bhakti. So very important, Tulsi Maharani has, Tulsi Nishcha is very important for us Vaishnavas. Tulsi Nishcha, Ekadashi Nishcha should be very much followed. So Tulsi Maharani, you should always keep paying obeisances and asking. Because sometimes we don't even know, knowingly or, knowingly so you will not do, unknowingly also your activities may have, someone may have taken offense. And that's why morning, wherever you all are staying together, pay obeisances to each other. And then not only that, in heart you should pay obeisances. It means it should be heartfelt obeisances. That will bring about a very good society of Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. You never know who is hurt by. And to Tulsi Maharani, you also very specifically chant, go around circumambulating Tulsi Maharani. Vyanikani Chapapani, Brahmahatyadikani Cha, Tani Tani Pranashanti, Pradakshina, Padepad. Keep doing Tulsi. Even you insult Krishna, he will tolerate. But if you insult his devotee, he will never tolerate. Then you are finished. Just like a big man. If you insult him, he may think, all right, let him. But if you insult or do something to his child, he will never tolerate. He will never tolerate. Prabhupada gave this in a lecture. So if you say to Krishna, Krishna says, okay. You do that. When Mahaprabhu, they scolded Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu said anything, nothing. But when they hit Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu brought his Sudarshan Chakra to kill Jagaya and Mada. Very important. Prabhupada once shouted at devotees. What happened was one devotee was really not following everything. So Prabhupada was chastising the spiritual master. Some other god brother happened to hear that. What he did was he took up the phone. That time we all didn't have mobile or WhatsApp. Now they put in mobile and WhatsApp. We had a very nasty thing that happened in another group. Someone started showing the photos and others of a Vaishnava. I had to say, don't record those all things. That is not proper. Just stop the recording. Stop. You cannot do all of those things because whatever chance is there for the devotee to modify or change, the devotee will not be able to do that because he will go into that loop. But when Prabhupada was saying that other devotee took up the phone and called all the temples and said that don't allow this person is not following Srila Prabhupada. That news reached to that devotee. And when Prabhupada heard that, Prabhupada called the devotee who had said that, Prabhupada scolded him. I forget the names. And said, whatever little chance was there for the devotee to come back, you just messed it up. You understand that? Because you're not the authority to do all of those things. You don't go about vilifying people. Yeah? You go about glorifying people. That is okay. You cannot go, oh, I know about that particular thing. Oh, that Dasa, that Devi Dasi, they did this is nonsense. And find out something good and say about someone. Why you have to worry about who did what? Keep your mouth shut and walk out of that. Unless it is affecting the total Vaishnava community, then say, I would request you that you please don't engage in certain activities with them because it may not be good for your devotion. So just say that and go. You don't have to vilify. So, because Krishna will not do that. Haristane aparade tare harinam, tomastane aparade nahi paritran. If you do offense against holy name, haristane aparade. If you do offense against holy name, if you have to recover from offense against holy name, you can take holy name itself. It will get done. But tomastane aparade. But if you do aparade to a Vaishnav Thakur, nahi paritran. There is no way out. Unless that is done. It says that the holy name delivers one who has offended Lord Hari, but deliverance is impossible if one offends you. This is a very nice song. Maybe sometimes we should sing that. We were hearing this yesterday while we were making our dinner. This is that song. Yeah, okay, this is almost the last line. If one offends a Vaishnav, the offense can be excused only by that Vaishnav, no one else. If anyone offends a sadhu in a moment of delusion and madness, he must fall at the sadhu's feet and repent bitterly, weeping and full of contrition. He must beg forgiveness. A sadhu is very merciful. His heart will soften and he will embrace the offender, thus exonerating him from his offenses. We should fall down, we should ask. We should always remember that we recruit members from people in general. So they are not from Vaishnava family. It is not expected that every one of our members should be immediately to the standard qualification. They will have different, because of upbringing, conditioning. The best example, best thing for you is to set the example by your personal behavior. You behave properly and try to reform the others. Not by criticizing, but by friendly behavior. You behave properly. Another, what is this? You all are doing this. You don't even do this service properly. See, when I was doing this service, how nicely I was doing that. No, cannot do that. You do properly, they see you and they learn from you. That is very important. If it is really hurting you, go and speak to your senior. Just vent out your heart. Once you have vented out your heart, you think that, okay, now the senior will take care. Now you just stay quiet. And things will not happen in a day. Yeah. Things take some time, right? Okay. With that, we stop class today. Thank you for joining at such a short notice today. I hope it helps you in practicing your spiritual life. Always understand that this is the summum bonum of what we should do. We should practice here so that when we go and we sit in Goloka, we can behave properly. Here we are getting on-the-job training. So when we go out there, we can properly serve the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis there. We don't want to keep staying in this material world. So make it very nice, then it will be good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpaturbyascha kripasindhubhya vicha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Those of you who want to leave can leave. If anyone, I can take one question if anyone has. Or any comment.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Does this hold good for even family members who are Vaishnavas?
Of course. In fact, Sripad Gaur Gobind Swami Maharaj in one of his classes says that husband and wife should be very careful, because this happens with almost all of them, because they take familiarity breeds contempt. You never know if the husband is more advanced or the wife is more advanced. Of course, the husband is supposed to take guidance and then lead, but it could be the other way around also, right? So one has to be very, very careful with their kids, with their children and everyone, and have to give the appropriate respect, but also based on their particular position also they will have to say certain things, but they have to be careful. You will laugh at one thing which Maharaj says in one of the classes. I heard it. Maharaj said that the husband should pay obeisances to the wife. And the wife should, it's always usually said wife should pay obeisances to the husband every day, right? Before they start their day, they should pay obeisance and they should go. Treating husband as the guru. For a wife, the husband is a guru. So like you pay obeisance to guru, the wife should pay obeisances to the husband and then start. Maharaj in one of his classes says that the husband should also pay obeisances to the wife, if she's a Vaishnavi. Because what do you say? Krishna Adhisthana. Krishna is there, the resting place for Krishna. I don't know how many of the couples can practice that, but then you should be very careful in the families. Don't take it lightly. I will say that.
Joyous still seeing
Yes.
someone sometimes they are playing or something's wrong with us or some issues. That time you will not be able to express it. That also express it.
Okay, so one question from Suryavamsi Prabhu, that we are sick or we are not in a proper state of mind and we are not being joyous on seeing a Vaishnava, will that be committed or will that be taken as apura? Right? I remember one thing which my spiritual master did. I will say you that. I think that can answer you. So when we traveled from Los Angeles to Atlanta, so what happened was my Gurumat's after 2008, actually his right side is paralyzed and his left face is paralyzed. So there is no expression in his left face. If someone understands, there is no expression based on that. So devotees usually when they see spiritual master, they expect that the spiritual master should always smile, should always say nice, should always wave his hands and all that. And here it was that it was frozen. So the first thing what Guru Maharaj said when they were seeing that you all can hear that lecture. It is there, it is stored. You all can search and see. He says actually, my face is frozen, so you're not able to see my heart's feelings. But actually, I'm very elated and happy to see you all. That one thing brought actually tears to our eyes on that particular friend. It was a very sensitive moment for all of us. He was expressing that you should. I'm very happy. See, if you're not becoming very happy because of certain condition, you should call it out. Prabhu, I'm not feeling well. Otherwise, I'm very happy to see you. Maybe I will not be able to do that. Out of
Expression will not be there, but action.
Action. I'm paying action. See, that's why I said you. So you may not be feeling like paying obeisances. Paying obeisances. Because that is a part of the etiquette. At least give him a glass of water, then say, Prabhu, I'm having a headache. I would like to take this. See, certain times it happens like, okay, let me say, as a grihastha, we have our differences between our spouses, right? We don't go about shouting. And certain times we raise our voices. Certain times we say, hey, I just don't want to talk with you. Let's just tomorrow morning we'll talk. And then we continue with our services for Krishna. We do that. But that does not mean. Then again, next day morning we are back to normal. In the evening, or it could be that we just send an apology messages and just continue. And we should do that with everyone. Yeah. Something. Okay, this is the last one, and take that, Pavitra Mataji. If any offenses we did, a devotee maybe knowingly or unknowingly due to our conditioning nature from previous life, or maybe sometime unknowingly due to religion, etc. So what way we can beg pardon from the Vaishnava for the offense we did? Okay, this comes from, this not only happens with you, Mataji, it also happens with wonderful Vaishnavas. Sanatan, Rupa was sitting and meditating. Rupa was meditating. And when Rupa was meditating, actually, he saw that in his meditation, he went to the stage, because he was in almost a higher stage. He went to the stage where Srimati Radharani was accepting the sweet he is made. So he was smiling at that. Srimati Radharani is accepting his sweet. So he was smiling. So he's closed his eyes, he's in that, and he's smiling. But what was happening was he was sitting near Madan Mohan or something, or near Radha Govind, and he was smiling. And in front of him, the Vaishnava was walking. That Vaishnava had physical deformities. So that Vaishnava was actually walking little, like someone with a physical deformity walks. He turned around and he saw Rupa. And what was Rupa doing? Rupa was smiling. The devotee took it as an offense. As soon as the devotee took an offense, Rupa's realization shattered. He came down from that level. He just couldn't continue. So Rupa's thoughts broke. Rupa sat down. Then Rupa didn't know why it happened. So Rupa went and asked Sanatan, what should I do? I'm not getting that ecstasy. Sanatan said, someone Vaishnava has taken offense to whatever you have done. He said, how do I know who has taken offense to whatever you have done? He said, call for a feast. When you call for a feast, except the Vaishnava is offended, rest all will come. Now, the devotee who is offended, he won't come to your house for feast. And Rupa organized for a feast, and that Vaishnava didn't come. Then Rupa went and asked forgiveness for that. That was unknowingly. So if Rupa Goswami can take the effect of that, so what to speak about us? So we have to be very careful. So either yes, so what how can we beg pardon? So call them for lunch, serve them, and you can do that. Yeah. The other ways, as I said, if you don't even know who has been hurt, like in this case, there was easy. It was to then pay obeisances with Tulsi Maharani, and request her that I may have committed offense, so please help me out. It should be done. These are practical things which can be done. Right, Madhya, I hope that answers you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Lokesh Prabhu, Manoranjan Prabhu, Anil Prabhu, Manjunath Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Kumari Daya Mataji. Yeah, Vidura Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna, Vidura Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Sorry, didn't realize. Anything you wanted to add?
I wanted to take your darshan. No. Very nice class, Prabhu. Very nice.
Nice.
Lot of inputs for me. Thank you very much.
Bravo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How is mom doing?
She's okay. Better than how she was in the initial stages.
Okay.
Far better.
Robert. Very good. Very nice.
Thanks for all the prayers, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare
Krishna. Thank you, Kumari Deya Mataji, Piyali Mataji, Mili Mataji, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavats. I hope you're getting some prasad for us. Hare Krishna. Lokapalika Mataji.
Thank
Shanti
you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavats. Subhav Prabhu, Shanti Govinda Prabhu, Revati Nandan Prabhu, Murari Murti Mana Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sripada Mataji, Gauranga Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavats. Hare Krishna, Sri Hari Prabhu and Premamai Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Poonam Mataji, Gayatri Mataji, Lakshmi Mataji, Siddhurupa Mataji, Murli Kundapu. Hare Krishna. Dandavats. Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll stop here. Dandavats. With your